The Dallas Cowboys finally made a move, just about 4 weeks too late, I think. They made a trade for Panthers wide receiver Jonathan Mingo. The news came out, I believe, during or right after Jerry Jones' interview with The Fan this morning. So let's talk about the trade, what it means now, and what it means for the future. Let's get into it. We kind of knew that Dallas would be in the trade market for at least someone relatively cheap. I mean, they had 10 draft picks, and they need playmakers on this team at wide receiver, running back. They need a run-stuffing defensive tackle. They need help at quite a few spots on this roster. So they went out and got a wide receiver, Jonathan Mingo, in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Dallas got Mingo and a 7th. The Panthers received a 4th. And right off the bat, I will say this is an overpay. Plain and simple, I think trading for a guy with less than 600 career yards is an overpay. But I also think that there's a reason that he doesn't have 600 career yards, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. For now, though, let's just completely dispel this narrative that Dallas traded Jonathan Mingo for a 4th, but Davante Adams went for a 3rd. And of course, Dan Orlovsky is out here pushing that narrative like he doesn't understand how trade value and contracts work. It's simply not how you look at this trade. I do think it's an overpay, but it's not how you should look at it. Davante Adams has a cap hit of $38.3 million over the next 2 years, and that's not spread out. That is $38.3 million each year over the next 2 years. Jonathan Mingo has a cap hit of $1.5 million in 2025 and $1.9 million in 2026. That's not even comparable. And we can do the same thing with Deontay Johnson, who went for a 5th-round pick, and I do think is a better player than Jonathan Mingo, obviously. Deontay Johnson is a win-now move. He's a free agent in 2025, so technically a half-year rental, unless you plan on paying him moving forward. And that's kind of why the draft capital was so low and he went for a 5th-round pick, because there's no guarantee that you're getting anything from him past this year. So I did want to go over those few things before we get into the film on Jonathan Mingo. But before we do that, let's talk about the player for just a moment. Mingo is 6'2", 220 pounds. He ran a 4.46 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. He's a big body, prototypical NFL wide receiver. And at 220 pounds, a 4.46 is pretty good, especially when you pair it with the play strength, his ability to fight through contact. That frame also helps when he's blocking. The strength is there. He uses that frame to his advantage. Now, there are some downsides to his game. In 2023, he had 5 drops. I don't think he's a very explosive, crafty route runner that's just gonna beat guys off the ball, separate at the top of the route. He's just not that guy. But I don't think he's some exceptional route runner that just routes guys up and is gonna be known for that in the NFL. Now, I watched all of Mingo's 26 targets from this year, 2024, and I gotta say, it is quite painful. Now, his play obviously wasn't great, but the quarterback play was just extremely hard to watch. I mean, we just look at this play. Obviously, Mingo is out into the flat. Bryce Young has pressure in his face. He can't really get it over the defender, and it just falls to the ground. Mingo has no chance to run after the catch with that. Then you have Andy Dalton. Mingo's going to run a deep in-breaking route. He gets separation. The corner is probably 2 yards behind him at the route break, but Andy Dalton just completely dirts this ball, throws it a yard behind him and into the ground. I don't really know, because the middle of the field is very open. And then you have this play where it's trips to the left. It looks like it's man coverage. The Raiders are all up on the line of scrimmage. And for some reason, the Panthers are going to run a screen pass where you have 2 blockers on 3 defenders. And of course, that doesn't work at all. And Mingo has no chance to do anything with this ball before he's getting crushed by the corner. Then you have this play where it kind of looks like a post route, supposed to be a deep shot to Mingo. Obviously, I don't know what the timing and everything is on this route, But to me, it looks like Andy Dalton just terribly places this ball. And by the time it's in the air, Mingo is playing defensive back, and it's an interception. I mean, he really never had a chance on that play. Then you have this Andy Dalton beauty as well. Early on in the route break, Mingo is wide open. The middle of the field, safety is a good 10 yards back. He really shouldn't affect this play if the ball comes out on time, but Dalton is a good half a second to a second late to make this throw. It's behind him, and it's into the breaking safety. So if he even did throw this ball well, it's probably a hospital ball. I mean, you get your hands on it, you should catch it, but I know that Mingo wasn't charged with this drop. It's more so of a late read and very poor throw from the quarterback. Before we continue, I wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BETUS. They have much more than just football, basketball, baseball, hockey, tennis, even surfing. I mean, you name it, BETUS has it. But we all really like football around here, and they have NFL futures like the Super Bowl winner, conference winners, division winners, playoff specials, all of those fun future odds. They have you covered. The possibilities really are endless with BETUS. If you sign up today, you'll get a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two. So go check out BETUS, where the game begins. Once again, on this play, I don't really know everyone's assignments. But early in, when Bryce Young is rolling out of the pocket, Mingo is open on a wheel route. Right here, he should throw this ball. Mingo should also keep moving upfield, but for some reason, he kind of comes back to Bryce Young. I mean, maybe he figured that Bryce Young wasn't going to throw this ball anyway, so he's going to start working back to the quarterback. But he is wide open right here. That ball should be out. So by the time that Bryce rolls out of the pocket, decides to throw to Mingo, there's no space to make this play, and that throw is like 5 yards out of bounds. Now, Mingo isn't completely free of any wrongdoing on the Carolina Panthers. Drops were an issue in 2023. They did slow down a bit in 2024. He had one bad drop out of the 26 targets that I watched. Now, obviously, most of those were not catchable passes, but his drops did drop. Now, I plan on making a video of positive things that I saw from Mingo, more so in 2023 because he hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities this year. And when he does, it's either 1 to 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage or 1 to 2 yards behind. So if you want to see that, please make sure that you like this video. I think a lot of people are upset about what the Cowboys gave up to get him. You look at the box score, it's not very intriguing as a trade option. But I think a lot of people are wondering now, why did the Cowboys make this trade? Why would you make this move after Dak is out for 4 games? They're planning on putting him on IR. The season feels all but lost at 3-5. And I will tell you that this is not a win now move at all. This is a future move. When trading for Mingo, the Cowboys are going to get 2 years of control on his contract, 2025 and 2026. Both of those years come with a low cap hit because of the rookie deal. Now, they probably had a pretty high grade on Mingo in the draft, and as we all know, we saw it with Trey Lance when they actually did waste a 4th round pick. They love their draft evaluations. They probably realized that Mingo was available in a trade. They took a look at his film. They watched the quarterback play that we just saw and said, we can help him. He can help us. This isn't as much of a Mingo issue as it is a Panthers and quarterback issue. So I think that's why they made the trade. Would I have given up a 4th round pick to go and do it? Probably not. I would have been much, much happier if Dallas could have somehow gotten him for a 5th round pick, maybe not even that high. A 6th round pick would have made me extremely happy just because of the traits. The production, the drops, stuff like that have been an issue. Now, I hate what they gave up for him, but I don't hate the player at all, at least based on what I've seen so far. I'm going to go back and watch his 2023 film as well. My main concern with the player is, how does he fit Dak and this offense? And I say this offense, Mike McCarthy's not going to be here in 2025, but how does he more so fit Dak Prescott? Because he's not a shifty, crafty route runner guy that's going to create a ton of space with his route running. He's not a guy that really separates at an extremely high rate. And we know that those are the players that Dak has thrived with. Amari Cooper, Cole Beasley. I think it's a big reason that Jalen Tolbert hasn't had crazy production, because Dak likes those wide receivers that can get open underneath and create space with their change of direction, acceleration, their technical route running skills. I think this is very much a future move, a future wide receiver 3, because I expect the Cowboys to draft another guy in the 2025 NFL draft. And I think the hope is that Mingo can be better than Jalen Tolbert next year. And then you have CeeDee Lamb, your wide receiver 2, likely being a draft pick, and then Jonathan Mingo and Jalen Tolbert. And that's kind of your wide receiver room in 2025. So while everybody's upset with the draft capital, did the Cowboys not learn anything from giving away a 4th round pick? I think right now, I think it's hard to evaluate Mingo in his current situation or past situation, how good of a player he can be in the NFL, just because the quarterback play was exceptionally bad, especially in 2024 when he's supposed to be taking that next step as a player. Like I said, we're going to watch the 2023 film, see what that looks like. But for now, I will say it's an overpay. I don't hate the player at all. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.